2 weeks before Halloween, I made a short trip up to Salem, Massachusetts. Some of you might be familiar with Salem as the site of the Salem Witch Trials. Between 1692 and 1693, 20 people, including 14 women, were executed after being accused of practicing witchcraft by the colonial government. This event remains a notorious blight on colonial American history and stands as a reminder for why we need due process in the legal system and the dangers of mass hysteria. But as grim as this historical event is, the city of Salem has taken ownership of it. Salem calls itself the Witch City and puts little witches on all of its police cars. Moreover, the city banks over $100 million in tourist spending each year, much of it during the month of October when tens of thousands of people travel to the city for Halloween festivities. And it was in this context of commercialization, civic pride, and mythologizing of the past that Salem has become a hub for new religious movements, including the home of several prominent Wiccan groups and the site of the first international headquarters of the Satanic Temple, a Satanist organization. Now, new religious movement is a term that academics use to refer to religions that originate from the modern period, generally within the last 200 years. Some examples include Hare Krishna, a group inspired by Hinduism founded in 1966, which featured prominently in one episode of Mad Men, and Wicca, a modern paganism group founded in the 1950s. Scholars prefer the term new religious movement to the word cult, because cult is both the pejorative term meant to marginalize groups that stand outside the mainstream, and it's a theological term that aims to differentiate between orthodoxy and heresy. Scholars are not trying to make a theological statement, and nor are they trying to make a value judgment on these religious groups, so they generally shy away from the term cult. And although people often view these new religious movements as weird, deviant, or secretive, here in Salem, especially around Halloween, many of these groups are on display in the public sphere. The annual Psychic Convention was hosting its event during my visit there, spiritual guides and palm readers are on every street corner, and tourist shops selling everything from magic crystals to custom witch hats are ready and waiting to help you part with your cash. Here in Salem, these so-called marginalized new religious movements are actually mainstream. And while walking through the kaleidoscope of ritual specialists, shops, and music, it struck me how Salem has become a modern pilgrimage site. Pilgrimage generally denotes a journey to sacred destinations that have been part of human history for thousands of years. In late antiquity, Christian pilgrims traveled to Jerusalem to see where Jesus really walked and preached. The pilgrimage to Mecca stands as one of the pillars of Islam, and the city of Varanasi in northern India has remained a pilgrimage site for Hindus for thousands of years. Salem, in its own small way, reflects these ancient pilgrimage sites, everything from the huge economic boon that the city gets from its visitors to the powerful mythology built around the city's past. Some Wiccans today even view the Salem Witch Trials as an example of religious persecution against their faith. The scholar of modern paganism, Ethan Doyle White, remarks that modern pagans such as Wiccans see themselves as the spiritual heirs of the ancient pre-Christian pagans of Europe. Just like in so many other religions, these individuals draw on the past to inspire and legitimate current practice. In a small New England city north of Boston, amidst all the costumes, food, and music, we see the power that space holds over people, and how people use the past as a way to mythologize and inform their interactions with that space, even to this day. Today's video was a little shorter, but I hope you learned something new about how scholars talk about new religious movements, and maybe a little bit about pilgrimage. If you'd like to support my efforts to bring academic religious studies content to YouTube, please consider supporting the show on Patreon. Even $1 a month helps make this channel more sustainable. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.